Hey.
Look at this handsome motherfucker.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, gangsta? How you doing?
Living the life. I'm like thinking to myself as I was showering tonight, going like, why in God's name at 52 did I decide to start this business? The hell was I thinking?
So, just be glad that you didn't wait until 50 to have your first kid like this idiot over here.
Yeah. I was like, this motherfucker want more.
One more. Don't say more like that. One more is good enough. A girl. And if it ain't a girl, that's it. I ain't trying no more. Welcome back to another episode of Single Dad, Why You Mad? It's going to be an interesting conversation, I am sure. This is a guest that Clark has brought here and has been talking about for some time now. And this is part of our series on mental health, right? So why don't you introduce yourself and you tell everybody about yourself as much as you want, and then we'll take it from there.
All right. Excuse me, guys. All right, so name is Mike Yancey, and it's funny that, this is called Single Dad, Why You Mad? I've always referred to myself actually as a solo parent because getting back to the topic of mental health, 13 and a half years ago, my wife, who suffered from bipolar disorder, took her life and made me a solo parent to a 3 and 6 year old boys.
Now, when you say a solo parent, you mean as of that day you felt you became a solo parent? Oh,
yes. I was the only parent. There's no, hey, we're going to mom's, or hey, I get this weekend off because, the kids go with their mom. There isn't any of that.
Okay. And you guys were together at that time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were married. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Married up to that point. Wonderful marriage, actually. It's just unfortunate for, the mental health issue drove her to do what she did.
What is, if you don't mind me asking, what is bipolar disorder? What is that?
So bipolar disorder used to be called manic depressive. So it is it's a behavioral disorder that will take you either into a mania, so into a very high state, I guess you would call it. And then what I would always see is then I'd call it like the eye of the storm would happen. So say the manic part came first, and then there would be a little calm before the storm, and then the depression would set in.
So the mania is the high point, you're saying?
Yeah, it's they think they can, she was like, she swore to me every day that she was going to be on Oprah and she was going to write a book, and she was, God Lord, there were many things that she was going to do. Although sometimes, because this woman was so driven, I sometimes would believe that she would do these things. But yeah, she was really good on this one particular medication for years. And I should say that a year before she committed suicide, she called me at her work and she says, I can't believe I just did this. I just wrote you a goodbye note. And I was like, why would you write me that? And she says, well, I go for a run. She loved to run. And she says, I was running by this bridge and I thought, well, I could just jump off this bridge and everything would be, finished. I wouldn't have to deal with this anymore.
Can you imagine in any way, shape, or form how she was feeling inside about that? The difficulty somebody must feel when they're in that position where they just can't take it no more.
Even the toughest guy is going to tap out after a significant ass whooping. Like, there's only so much you can take. Yeah. And the physical pain is one thing, but the mental and the psychological, that's a whole other animal.
Again, somebody that had everything going for her. I mean, she had a great job. She was great at what she did. She had a family that she loved, I know, and we loved her. So yeah, those are those things where you sit there and say, well, what happened, and of course, personally for me, I went through all of that. Like, what could I have done differently? Should I stayed home that day? Could I have, showed her more love? Could I have done this? Could I have done, it's crazy, but you've got to understand this is something so beyond the scope. One of the things that I remember her saying a lot, and I'd be like, why would you say that? Is I just want to disappear. Because I was very glad that you actually wanted to talk about mental health today, not in particular my situation, but just mental health in general, because it just gets ignored way too much. It's acknowledged, but it doesn't. I don't think people really understand. And it seems more prevalent today than ever before.
So that's exactly what the fuck I was thinking here while I was saying that shit. This shit don't give a fuck about what color you are. It don't give a fuck about how much money you make. It don't give a fuck about where you live.
The disease doesn't care where you can, like, what color you are, how much money you got in your pocket. It afflicts you, and it afflicts you hard. And the impacts and the repercussions of the people who share a life with you, they're real.
Here's where it separates, though. Here's where it separates, and I'm going through that, and I'm realizing this right now more so than ever before, because as I had stated earlier, my oldest son has been diagnosed. He tried to commit suicide. And
so let me ask you, healthcare cost.
So that's where I was going with the whole doesn't care, what color you are, doesn't care what this. But guess what? How much money you have does make a difference in how you get the care. And that's the most fucked up piece about mental health care today.
Speak to it. Speak to it.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.